Welcome back to day 16 of the New-vember challenge. That's a challenge where I watch a movie I haven't seen before and it's not in my collection. Obviously, streaming is really the main way to go there. Today's film is a interesting film I found on Netflix called Forest of Love 2019, and it's directed by Sion Sono, who did Cold Fish, Suicide Club. I love Cold Fish, I'll just tell you. And I tell you, after seeing this one, I think that Sion Sono is becoming one of my favorite modern Asian directors. This is a really interesting film. It's long. It's 2.5 hours long, but it stars a guy named Kaipe Sheena, who plays Joe Murata. And Joe Murata is a con man. And he lives his whole life manipulating and manipulating people to his own ends. In the middle of all this, you've got two girls. They're friends from high school. One is then they go 180 degrees opposite directions lifestyle wise. One goes after high school and becomes, as she puts it, a slut, and the other one stays a virgin and is really kind of oppressed by her father and her mother. But both lives reemerge. Basically, they, after high school, they kind of separate, but then they come together again through Joe Murata, and the con man Joe Murata, who has dealings with both of them. And of course, he manipulates both and takes advantage of both. In the middle of all this, it's a very complicated story, actually, as you can see. In the middle of all this, you've got a group that's making a film. A young group is making a film, and they get involved with Murata. They think that he's a serial killer, and they want to do a film about him. And so all these lives intertwine, and what ends up happening is just off the wall, batshit crazy. For 2.5 hours, it just it builds to a crescendo, with lots of twists and turns. What you think you know, you probably are wrong about the characters, their motivations, etc. The only one that I actually got right from the onset was Joe Murata. He obviously was a con man, and he's supposedly the serial killer, which I'm not going to give that away. I mean, you'll have to watch the movie, but it's a very, very fun, interesting, and deep film. Clearly, Sion Sono is a very, very talented director. Very, very talented director. The film vacillates between high school, 1985, I think, and young 20-somethings at 1993, and it goes back and forth. And unlike The Coming or Burned at the Stake, which I talked about a couple of days ago, because it flipped back and forth between the 1600s and modern day, and did it kind of not very well. I like Burt Gordon, so I'm not going to beat him up for it. But clearly, Sion Sono shows you how to do transitions between time periods, and he does it very effectively in a meaningful way that carries the storyline further. Great movie. Great movie. I would give it a 9 out of 10, but it's long. It's probably too long. It's a little self-indulgent, if I'm being objective. 2.5 hours is a long fucking time. I mean, to me, a movie, if it's 90 minutes is the right number, depending on the material and the story. And if you go over 90 minutes, you better be doing something. And he does do something with it. I'm not saying that. The next hour is great stuff, and maybe I'll feel better. Maybe I'll feel differently after rewatching this. But I did feel like it's probably a little bit self-indulgent at 2.5 hours. So I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. But I think you've got the makings of a 9 out of 10 in this film. It's a great movie. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Now, interestingly enough, there is a deeper cut of this on Netflix, and it's over 5 hours. Same. Other than the title, Forest of Love, I assume it's just a lengthier version of the story, and I'm probably going to watch it at some point, maybe during the New-vember challenge. I haven't decided yet, because I really did like the 2.5 hour version. So that's going to do it, I think, for day 16. Great watch. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. If you've seen Forest of Love, or if you love Sion Sono as much as I do, leave some comments in the box below. Definitely check out Cold Fish. That's my favorite film he did. That's a freaking masterpiece of craziness. So, all right, that's going to do it for day 16. Thanks for watching.